everyone, welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be another Q&A. You guys know I love doing these. I'm just really excited about this one because this one is actually about being 19 and married. So if you didn't know, or if you are new here, make sure to first subscribe, and two, I'm going to give you a little bit of background detail on myself. So my husband and I have been together for over 4 years now. We started dating when I was 15 and he was 17. We got engaged about a year and a half ago, and now we are married. We've been married for a few months. We actually eloped during COVID and everything with that going on. It was full on. Such an experience, but a good one at that as well. So if you guys wanted to see our wedding video, I will link that up the top here in the cards. But we've actually got a lot of questions lately regarding just kind of the dynamic between us having a married relationship so young, and also how we do it, you know, financially, emotionally. There's a lot of different factors that kind of weigh into this. So we also live alone. We are renting at the moment. We've got our own place. So we definitely are achieving our goals super young, and I've been getting heaps of questions since we first got married a few months ago. Thought I would get you guys to ask me specific questions on Instagram, and I would go through them just so that you guys have a little bit more of an insight as to what being married so young, being married at 19 is actually like. As always, got you guys to ask me questions on my Instagram, so I will also link my Instagram down in the description below if you want to check that out. So let's just get into it. The first question is actually from a friend of mine, and it's a very good question. So she asked, when you tell new people who don't know you, how do they react? I'm assuming this obviously means telling people that I have a husband or something like that. To be honest, the reaction is very surprised. First, people kind of are like, oh, okay. And then normally older people kind of follow it up with, wow, congratulations, they're really happy for us. A lot of the criticism that we have copped is from younger people, which I will go into with other questions as well. But a lot of people just kind of question us and be like, oh, what are you guys doing with your life? Do you even, like, are you sure? And I'm like, you don't have to be 30 or 40 to get married. I'm 100% sure I obviously want to spend the rest of my life with him. There's no doubt about that. I've known since we were very young. Anyway, first reactions are normally very shocked, I would say, but older people are very nice about it and just kind of congratulate you. I feel like to get married younger is more typical in the older generation, so I feel like maybe that's why they react a little bit better, but people are definitely very surprised. Velvet Lily actually asked 2 questions, so I will put them up on the screen. The first one is, how did you save up to afford to live out of home? And 2, do you or your partner pay the majority of the bills / manage the majority of your finances? First question is hard work. I would say is definitely the obvious answer. That's how we saved up to afford all of our furniture, everything we've done by ourselves. Super blessed to be able to work full-time, and the fact that we were both working full-time before everything with coronavirus started going down. Now I'm off work. I've been off work for about a month, so that is fun, but still, regardless, very fortunate to both have full-time jobs. That's where we were able to save up the money to live out of home. Also, I spoke a little bit about this in our wedding Q&A just after we got married. We set up a specific budget before we actually got married with Ezra's parents. We went through everything. We over allocated costs for the week, for the month, accumulates over time so that our bills can be direct debited from that account and it'd be fine. But we always over allocate. I would say probably that is my biggest tip, is over allocate your bills, because you never want to be short for anything or anything like that. But definitely have a spreadsheet of exactly how much everything costs. Just know your kind of balance, know exactly where you stand in regards to your finances. You want to take control. You don't want to let your finances take control of your anxieties. Second question is, do you or your partner pay the majority of the bills / manage majority of the finances? This is a really good one. We actually get this question a lot. In my opinion, I would say it is directly split down the middle. We do it equally. There is no he pays this, I pay this. We have the same account. We never say your money, my money as individuals. It's ours as a married couple. And that is just how we like to do it at the end of the day. It's worked for us. It's been working for us for a few months now. It also helps to not hold leverage over the other person. I feel like finances are a big thing in a marriage or in a relationship or anything. And people can often take advantage, maybe if you are making more than your partner or they're making more than you or something like that. It can be a leverage point. We just don't want those issues. We never argue about money, honestly. So yeah, we just see it as ours and not his or hers or mine or his or anything like that. So that would be my other tip. You've got to have that mindset. That was one of the things in our premarital classes that we actually focused a lot on. So I'm really proud of the dynamic that we have in that regard. I'm really happy with how we do things. I feel like I'm talking really fast. I kind of need to slow down. I don't know why I'm talking so fast. Whew. Bella asked, does being married cause you not being able to hang out with your friends? Absolutely not. I would definitely say that if anything, it has made it even better, because Ezra and I share a lot of the same friendship groups. So now that we've got our own place, obviously people come over to our house often, not at the moment with COVID and everything going on, but before that people would often come over to our house. I always want our house to be the safe space for people. I want people to be able to come here and be fed and have a bed to sleep in if they need it and that kind of thing. So no, I would definitely say I never have an issue with him if he wants to hang out with his friends. He never has an issue with me if I want to hang out with my friends. But most of the time, if I'm honest, all we want to do is really hang out with each other. Like, even if it's just in each other's presence, we're just sitting there watching a show or something like that. Like, we just love hanging out with each other. So no, I don't think a healthy relationship should cause you to not be able to hang out with your friends. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe some advice would be to allocate specific times that you see your friends per week or something like that if you struggle in that regard. But me personally, I don't. So
hey,
for everyone that didn't know, this is my husband Ezra. What a cutie. How was your day? Was it
yeah, it's good. Love you.
Love you. So one of the questions that I actually got quite a bit, which I was really surprised about, is how do your parents feel about you having left at such a young age? How are your parents so understanding? Was it scary to think what both of your parents would have said about getting married so young? There are a lot of questions about parents, and honestly I feel like we were both very, very fortunate in the way that both of our parents were very, very supportive from the get-go. Neither sets of parents actually said it was a bad idea to get married young. Both were fully supportive, both in our corners completely. Both were more than happy for us to move out together. I was just very surprised because my point of view is, I guess, I mean, I don't know about other, it might be different for other just people in general, but me personally, I definitely tried to establish the dominance with my parents when I turned 18. I was very much, I wouldn't necessarily call it dominance, but I just made it very clear that I wanted to be independent. I made it very clear that I was now an adult, I could make my own decisions, that kind of thing. My parents really understood that. It was definitely a bit of a battle, but they also knew that I had a stable relationship. At that point, I'd been in the relationship with Ezra for about 2.5 years. So they knew that I was mature enough to move forward with my life and become independent as well. And obviously us both having full-time jobs, that was definitely a factor. But yeah, my advice would honestly be to be really honest about what you want with your parents. Sorry, excuse me, I'm just getting comfy on my bed. I do know that some parents will disagree. I've had friends who are in similar situations with their independence where their parents just don't really want to give it to them or something like that, but we personally just didn't really have any issues. Our parents trust us completely. They know that we're responsible. They know that we're serious. I don't know, I feel like it kind of comes down to how you act as well. If you want to be mature, you have to show maturity. If you want to be independent, you have to show that you are capable of being independent. I think there are just certain things that you can do that probably builds that relationship with your parents to get to the point where they trust you completely. Yeah, I don't know if that makes much sense, but it came pretty naturally for our parents. Our parents were both quite understanding of our situations. Tessa asked, do you face any criticism for being married so young, and how do you handle it? I think this is a really good question. Yes, we absolutely do face criticism for being married so young. I guess I kind of just laugh it off. You've really got to just take it with a grain of salt. All of the criticism that we get comes from people who don't know us personally. And that's why I say you can't take it personally, because the criticism that we get is comments like, you guys will eventually have a fear of missing out on what, like, you know, a stage that maybe other teenagers go through that I didn't, like because I got married so young. Or I am definitely not going to have that fear of missing out. I know Ezra isn't. It's just ridiculous. That is probably the comment that we cop most, is why would you get married so young? You guys are going to have fear of missing out. You guys are going to regret it, blah 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 blah. And honestly, it just really bothers me when people say that, because they don't understand us. Obviously they don't know us as individuals, they don't know us personally, and I feel like that's just a really offensive thing to say to someone, especially when it is not true, or if you don't even know the person and you're just judging. Can come across as really rude. Pretty much just handle it by laughing it off. And I think the main thing to take away here is to not listen to anyone's opinions, especially when they don't know you personally. Like, I cannot stress that enough, because that's something that I've really had to learn over the past few months. Laugh it off is how I would say to handle it, because you know that it's gonna last. You know that you guys are the happiest that you are ever gonna be. You guys know that your relationship is fully secure. Sadie asked, what made you decide to marry at 19? And then Morgan asked, did you always know you would be married young? So these are really good questions, and they kind of tie in with each other because yes, we did know that we wanted to get married really young, and then the reason for us wanting to be married really young is because we figured, why wait? Like, what is the point of waiting 7, 8, 9 years? What is the point of waiting till I'm 30 to get married when we could have done it at 20 and had 10 married years instead of 0? I'd rather count the married years over the dating years. That's just me personally. We 100% know that we're gonna last. It's not even a doubt in our minds or anything like that. When you know, you know. And if you know, I just feel like, what is the point in waiting? Even this whole pandemic has kind of just shown us life can change within a matter of weeks on the entire planet. I don't know. I feel so happy that we got married when we did. I have no regrets. I am very, very happy. I know my husband is as well. We just figured, why wait? There were certain things that we wanted to wait for marriage to do as well, which was probably a bit of a motivator to get married. So for instance, we didn't want to move in together to our own place until we'd gotten married. And now that we're married, we obviously have our own place. We felt like for us, marriage was the next step, and we couldn't be happier with that decision. Natalie asked, what is it like not seeing your family every day? It's definitely very weird. It is so weird not seeing my little brothers or my little sisters every single day. If you didn't know, I'm actually the second oldest of 7 children, soon to be 8. My mum is pregnant again, so that's super exciting. But the point is I have a lot of family and we're all very close. So yes, it was definitely hard when we moved out on our own, not seeing them every day. I definitely miss my brothers and sisters. FaceTime, Snapchatting all the time, videos to each other, all that kind of thing. We stay in touch multiple times a day. I feel like it's not as bad as maybe it would be if coronavirus wasn't happening, because we kind of don't really have a choice. We can't even see them anyways. I don't know, maybe that puts us in a better mindset as to why we're going so long without seeing them. But it definitely is very weird not waking up and having your parents or siblings or family around you. But also on the good side of that is that I can actually hear myself think when I'm in my own home. It's so nice being able to wake up on a weekend with just Ezra. There's a lot of positives to it as well. Charlotte asked, what is something you have learned about each other in the process of living independently? Ezra and I have been living in our own place since we got married, so for a few months now, but before that we pretty much lived together anyway for a few years. So we've actually been living together for 3.5 years, or we've seen each other every day anyway, so it's pretty much like we've been living together. So there was actually a lot that we learnt about each other when we first kind of started seeing each other every day. Honestly, it just feels easy. I can't even comment on anything negative or anything like that. It honestly just feels easy. I feel super, super happy with where we're at. I guess one thing that he's learnt about me, I would say, is that I am, or I can be, quite messy, but it's like an organized mess, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it. I love making the bed, for instance, but at the same time, I have the mindset of like, well, I'm just gonna get into it tonight. So whereas he's like, no, the bed has to be made. So that's kind of the only area where we're different. We both do a lot of the cooking, the cleaning, everything like that. We split everything, not intentionally. We just both pick up our weight. Honestly, I think that we just have a really good balance. So I actually got a few questions regarding my full-time job. So Laurie asked, how did you get a full-time job without going to uni/qualifications? And then I also got a DM from a girl that I know who asked, how did you go about finding a job? Scoring full-time work is really hard. Do you have any other qualifications that helped you get your foot in the door, or has the opportunity just come up and you've taken it? I am in the same industry that I have been in for about 1.5 years now. At first, when I got into the industry, I absolutely hated it. I only got a full-time job so that we could save for our wedding, if I'm completely honest. I hated it. Hated getting up for work every single day. It just wasn't fun. I hated the dynamic of like having to work full-time to make a decent living. I just was angry at the world. There were so many things wrong in my old job that I just didn't like. I hated my old job. I worked there for probably 8 months, and then I got an opportunity through my old job with my new job, because the people that I spoke to at my old job got me into my new job. I don't know if I'm making that make sense, but pretty much that's how I landed the role that I'm in now. So I am in the industry of transport and logistics, which is probably not something that I ever saw myself doing, but long term it's definitely a very steady career path. I again hated it when I first started. I hated my old job, so glad that I've gotten this new one, but I wouldn't have found my new one if I hadn't have given my old job a shot. And as much as I don't like this mindset, sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do to get to a destination where you want to be. And the thing that I really didn't want to do was the 8 months of hard work at my old job, but I did it and it got me to where I am today. I couldn't be happier in my current current job. I love it. Honestly, I was just kind of thrown in the deep end. I took any opportunity that came up, and you never know, you might end up liking it. I never went to uni or anything like that. Pretty much started working full-time as soon as I got out of high school. So that was that. But yeah, I would just say honestly, take up any opportunity that you can, because any full-time work that you have on a resume will look good for future employers. It will help you get a job that you actually want to do. So even though it is hard, just slave away at it for a few months, and hopefully you will get to a position where you can move up or change the career path that you're on or something like that. Anyway, I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm actually going to end it here. A lot of the questions that I got were very similar, so I hope that kind of answered majority of them. But yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like Q&As, make sure to give this video a thumbs up because I love doing them. Okay, anyway, with all of that said, I am going to go spend time with my husband because he's just gotten home from work. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys are enjoying quarantine or working or whatever it is that you guys might be doing at this time. I know it's a very weird time for all of us. I hope that all of you guys are staying safe and feeling good. But yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.